This is flight number 914 from Earth to our planet. We will be taking off in 3 minutes.
Mr. Chambers! Mr. Chambers! Don't get on that ship! The rest of the book, To Serve Men, it's a cookbook!
Okay, I couldn't help but start this episode with one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, How to Serve Man, which seems fitting for this episode on AI alignment. You see, in this Twilight Zone episode, aliens called Canamites arrive on Earth, claiming they want to help humanity. They end war, end hunger, and gain the people's trust. A book entitled How to Serve Man they originally gifted the human race and leave behind at the beginning of the episode is eventually translated toward the end of the episode and revealed to be a cookbook. The aliens' true intention is to harvest humans as food. Now perhaps you see the correlation between our current relationship and feelings toward ourselves and AI, and more importantly, where we're headed in this episode. I want to thank you for joining me today on Where Do We Go From Here with Scott Catello. If you've listened before, you know my show often explores the big questions around technology, society, and identity, where we're headed, and what it means for us as human beings. And today, we're going to take on, to me, one of the most important and honestly one of the most misunderstood recent topics in all of AI, that of alignment. Now, AI alignment may sound abstract, maybe even like techie jargon, but really it boils down to this simple question. Will artificial intelligence, the most powerful technology humanity has ever created, serve us in the ways we intend? Or will we build something that no longer listens to us, or, to a bigger extent, work against us? This is a big topic, and one that has both immediate and everyday consequences and long-term stakes. And my goal for this episode is to take you on a journey to unpack what alignment means and why it's so difficult, what researchers are doing about it, and ultimately why it matters for all of us, not just the people building the systems. So, let's dive in. Part 1, Defining AI Alignment. Okay, let's start simple. What is AI alignment? At its core, AI alignment is the problem of making sure that artificial intelligence systems do what humans want them to do, safely and reliably. That's it. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But it can be deceptively tricky. Think of it this way. Imagine you've hired an apprentice. They're brilliant, fast, and capable of doing tasks you never had time for yourself. But they don't always understand your instructions perfectly. If you tell them to make this project as efficient as possible, they might cut corners that compromise quality. If you say maximize profits, they might do it in ways that are unethical or even illegal. The instructions were followed, technically yes, but maybe not in the spirit you intended. Perhaps this is why most AI-assisted platforms offer a disclaimer that they are fallible and you should always verify. That's the challenge with AI. We give these systems goals or objectives or training data, and they interpret it literally. They don't share our intuition, our common sense, our unspoken cultural assumptions. And when you scale up the power of the system, even small misinterpretations can lead to big consequences. As with the example of The Apprentice, the biggest consequence is that you're ultimately accountable despite using AI assistance. And here's the kicker. Alignment isn't just about the future, it's happening right now. Recommendation algorithms on YouTube or TikTok are designed to maximize engagement. And in many cases, they've done that by promoting extreme or polarizing content. Because, you may have guessed it, outrage keeps people watching. That in itself is a form of misalignment. You see, social media platforms such as TikTok and the like use AI in mainly 6 ways to get you engaged and keep you engaged. First is personalized recommendations. TikTok's core engine is its recommendation algorithm, powered by machine learning. It tracks signals such as what videos you watch to completion, which ones you rewatch, what you like, share, or comment on, and what you scroll past quickly. The system uses these signals to constantly refine what it shows you, optimizing for your specific dopamine triggers. Now, just real quick, some stats on TikTok. Average daily time spent per user is 95 minutes a day. And 60% of TikTok users report the app affects their sleep schedule or mood. And social media engagement algorithms have shown to promote polarizing content. In fact, a Facebook internal study in 2018 found that 64% of people joining extremist groups on the platform did so via algorithmic recommendations. Second, reinforcement learning and engagement prediction. AI models predict which videos are most likely to keep you engaged at any given moment. If the model sees you slowing down, it may show shorter, faster-paced, or more emotionally stimulating content to hook you back again. It kind of works like a slot machine, giving unpredictable but rewarding experiences to keep you scrolling. Third, content creation feedback loops. AI doesn't just curate content, it shapes what creators make. Creators get instant feedback on which videos go viral, encouraging them to adapt their style to what the AI amplifies. Over time, this produces content that is increasingly optimized for engagement. 4. A/B testing at scale. Unknowing to the end user, platforms run constant experiments on millions of users. AI companies' tiny tweaks, like the order of videos, captions, or even the colors of thumbnails, to see what drives more watch time. And the quote-unquote winning version is then scaled up across the platform. 5. Emotional and behavioral profiling. AI can infer moods, interests, and even vulnerabilities. Example, if you linger on sad content, the system may feed you more of it, knowing you'll stay engaged, even if it affects your mental health. This creates powerful and good and bad personalized rabbit holes. 6. Addictive design patterns. Infinite scroll plus AI ensures there's always one more video for you. Notifications are AI optimized to arrive at times you're most likely to kick back in. Background AI systems even decide when to give you a, quote, viral moment, a boost in views to keep creators motivated. In this example, although negative in nature, the AI and subsequent scent system is doing exactly what it was asked to do, keep users engaged, but not necessarily in a way that's healthy for individuals or society. This is probably why CEOs of social media platforms are subpoenaed and have to give a pound of flesh from time to time to Congress. So alignment is about making sure that when we say do what we want, the AI actually understands what we mean and does it in a way that aligns with our values, not just raw instructions. Part 2, why alignment is hard. So if alignment is so important, why is it so hard to achieve? The first reason is that as humans, we ourselves don't agree on what values we want AI to follow. Meaning, what does it mean to be fair in hiring? What does safety mean in autonomous vehicles? Is fairness about treating everyone the same? or about correcting historical inequities. These are human debates. And when we tell AI to be fair, it has to pick a definition that we as humans can't even define ourselves. Second, human instructions are often ambiguous. If I tell AI, make people happy, how exactly does it measure that? Through smiles? Through survey results? Through dopamine spikes in the brain? The way we phrase goals often leaves a lot of room for interpretation. And AI, unlike a human assistant, doesn't fill in the gaps with empathy or cultural awareness. Third, the challenge of scale. Modern AI models like large language models are trained on enormous data sets. They learn patterns, but they don't understand in the way people do. So while they may perform extremely well on many tasks, it's very hard to predict what they'll do in unfamiliar or difficult situations. Ensuring that they generalize safely, that they don't suddenly go off the rails when facing a new challenge, is enormously difficult. One of my favorite examples comes from a concept called reward hacking. Imagine you're training AI to play a video game, where the goal is to collect points. The AI learns the rules, and it's supposed to maximize its score. But instead of actually playing the game as intended, it finds a bug in the code that gives it infinite points. Now, in reality, it succeeds, but in a completely unintended way. Now, it's one thing as it relates to a video game, but what happens when the objective is to, say, reduce traffic accidents? And the system decides the easiest way is to ban all cars from the road. Technically, it's solving the problem, but not in a way we'd ever want. And these aren't hypothetical. We've already seen smaller versions of this in the real world. Algorithms cutting corners, exploiting loopholes, or amplifying unintended effects. And here's an example of real-world hacking. A cleaning robot trained to reduce trash was caught hiding trash under furniture rather than throwing it away. Again, technically, it was meeting the goal that was asked. Now, the worry is that as AI gets more powerful, these misalignments are going to scale up, and the consequences could become harder to contain. Part 3, the existential question. Now let's zoom out to the big picture. Long-term concern. What happens if we develop AI systems that are not just powerful tools, but far more capable than humans in most domains? This is a question of so-called superintelligent AI. It might sound like science fiction, but many experts in the field take it very seriously. Because if you create a system more intelligent than you, by definition, you cannot perfectly control it. And if its goals are even slightly misaligned with human goals, the consequences could be catastrophic. According to an AI impact survey in 2023, over 60% of AI researchers believe there's at least a 10% chance that advanced AI could cause catastrophic outcomes. This is at the heart of what people mean when they talk about AI as an existential risk. Not that AI will suddenly turn evil, like in a movie villain, but we might accidentally create systems that pursue their objectives in ways that are harmful to us. And by the time we realize it, we may not even be able to stop them. To a larger extent, this is what people call the singularity effect. Let me give you an example. Human beings have already changed the planet dramatically, not because we hate animals or ecosystems, but because our goals such as economic growth, comfort, and development didn't really align with the survival needs of countless other species on the planet. We didn't need malice to cause harm, simply humankind just needed indifference and power. Now imagine a system more powerful than us optimizing for goals that don't fully account for human flourishing. And there's an added layer to this, which is the race dynamic. Companies and countries are in competition with each other to develop advanced AI. In 2024, over $60 billion was spent globally on AI research and development, with major players being the US, China, and the EU engaged in strategic AI dominance. And in any race, there's always a temptation to cut corners. Safety might get deprioritized in favor of speed. It's like the early days of aviation. Planes were revolutionary, but crashes were more common than you think until standards, regulations, and engineering rigor caught up. The question is, can we build those safety frameworks for AI before it scales beyond our control? Part 4. Current approaches to alignment. So what are researchers doing about this? There are a few big approaches to alignment right now. First is value alignment, trying to teach AI human values. But as I said earlier, even defining those values is a challenge. Second is what's called reinforcement learning with human feedback. This is where humans guide the AI by showing it examples of good and bad behavior, essentially training it through preference. If you've ever given a thumbs up or a thumbs down on an AI's response, you've really already been participating in this. This is also similar to the social media reinforcement I discussed a moment ago. Third is something called constitutional AI. Instead of relying on only human feedback, researchers give the AI a, quote, constitution or set of principles, like don't encourage harmful behavior, or be helpful, honest, and harmless. The AI uses these principles to self-critique and improve itself. It's worth noting that Claude 2's constitutional approach reduced harmful outputs by 70% compared to its original baseline models. And fourth, interpretability research. This is like trying to look under the hood of AI models to understand what they're really optimizing for. Right now, many models are black boxes. We can see their inputs and outputs, but not much about the reasoning in between. Interpretability aims to change that. These are all promising directions, but it's important to understand alignment is not a one-and-done problem. It's not like patching a bug in an app. It's an ongoing, evolving challenge. And as AI becomes more capable, our methods of alignment have to evolve with it. Part 5. Why it matters for everyone. Now you might be thinking this all sounds like a problem for scientists and engineers, but not me, right? Why should I, as an everyday person, even care? Well, here's why. Alignment isn't just technical, it's also social, political, and cultural. Because even if we solve the technical challenges of making AI do what we tell it to do, there's a deeper question. What do we want it to do in the first place? Whose values does it align to? And perhaps most importantly, who gets to decide this? This is possibly the most critical question for AI alignment, as right now, a handful of tech companies are making many of these decisions for you and I, often behind closed doors. Governments are beginning to regulate, but this is really a global issue, and ultimately it affects all of us. Keep in mind that only 23% of Americans say they trust companies to use AI responsibly, and 72% think AI should be more regulated, especially in hiring, justice, and healthcare. Think about hiring algorithms, or criminal justice risk assessments, or healthcare diagnostics. These aren't hypothetical situations, they're already in use today. And the alignment question isn't, will the AI destroy humanity? It's, is this system perpetuating bias? Is it serving everyone fairly? Is it aligned with the kind of society we want to all live in? Part of AI alignment is also correcting for bias, which is inherent to many of the existing models today. A 2024 study by Stanford found that commercial language models scored significantly worse in output fairness across race and gender compared to academic models. So alignment matters not just at the cosmic level of existential risk, but at the very human level of fairness, justice, and dignity. So where do we go from here? AI alignment at its heart is about making sure that this incredibly powerful technology serves human goals safely and responsibly. It's technically hard, ethically complex, and politically messy. And it's one of the most important challenges of our time. The takeaway I want to leave you with is this: AI won't align to us by accident. It will only align if we put in the effort. Through research, through thoughtful regulation, and through cultural conversations about what we actually want and what we collectively deem important to us. And maybe the most important lesson is this: AI alignment is really also human alignment. Before we can tell machines what values to follow, we have to decide as humans what those values are. And that's not easy, especially these days. But it has to be of paramount importance. Therefore, we should progress with awareness, with humility, and with collaboration. We go forward asking not just what can AI do, but what should AI do? Thank you again for joining me today on Where Do We Go From Here with Scott Catello. If you found this episode thought-provoking, please share it, subscribe, and send me your thoughts or questions. I'd love to hear how you're thinking about AI and our future. If you like the comment, remember to hit the follow or subscribe button and keep those show ideas coming. Or if you have a series idea, I would love to hear that as well. Always at catelloscott@gmail.com. So for now, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and let's keep asking, where do we go from here? Till next time.